Welcome everybody to the MAP podcast. We are back. King Gardamus giving you what you need to know in the tech and gaming world. And to my right, the right hand of God.
It's your boy, the Charm City Champ, and unlike last week, we are actually back.
We are back. And to my left,
J Infinity,
J,
aka Mr. Oh No.
oh freaking no. So you know. Oh yes. What we got? What's the rundown? What we got going on today?
So today, I want to start off with some redactions.
Redact,
we
yes.
made a couple oopsies last week,
Oopsies.
and I just want to go back and want to correct them. So I was talking about Hollow Knight last week, Metroidvania indie game. I couldn't figure out who the developer team was for the life of me. The developer team is named Team Cherry.
Team Cherry.
So I just want to give them their big ups. They deserve it.
You popped their cherry.
You
last
did.
week.
Popped
You
their
popped
cherry.
You popped their cherry.
We just want to
But
earn
don't-
that explicit rating. And also, you pointed out Nino Kuni 2.
Yes.
You said they were made by Studio Ghibli.
Which it is not.
It is not. They're
It is
made
not.
by Level 5.
Level 5. Not 4, not 6. Level 5.
I'm a big fan of Level 5. They make the Professor Layton series.
They do. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah,
They do.
big
Which
fan.
I've never played any. There are a bunch of gaming series that I haven't played that I get looked at funny. And that would be
Gross.
one of them. Yes.
That's my redactions. I think that's all I had.
I think that's it for Redact. That's all we
Yeah,
messed
I
up?
was perfect last week.
As you are always.
So I always like to start the podcast by talking about what we're playing right now, right?
Okay.
What you playing?
Fall Guys.
Yes.
Oh my God. I downloaded that game today and I'm playing it right now as we speak.
I have yet to get into it, but I am planning on getting into it today. I know you've been partaking as well.
Level 40, bitch.
Level 40. Bitch.
When was the last time your family saw you?
They see me watch Fall Guys. I'm a man of many hats.
Yeah.
Dad, the house is burning down. All right, I'll be right
Let
there.
me get this now. Make sure nobody's eliminated. Yeah, that game just kind of came out of nowhere. It just became a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's weird the way that happened. I thought that I talked to you just before. I thought it was like one of those games like Fortnite. Like Fortnite came out for a minute and then it just like came out of nowhere. But this just came out the gate just running, huh?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Devolver games, and I've been following this game for a while now. Devolver's been teasing it for a good couple of months now,
Okay.
and I really thought that this was just going to be one of those small games that I would enjoy, but not too many people, because Devolver released Katana Zero last year. It was a small indie slasher with some like Matrix elements into it.
Okay.
And I really liked it, but it never caught the
Caught
hype.
on. Okay.
So I just thought this was going to be the same thing. This was going to be something I like. I couldn't convince anybody to play, and watch 10 million concurrent people playing it at one time.
Speaks in volume.
Hell yeah, man.
That's
I'm
big
happy.
volume. Big volume. So GG's to you guys for making that game. I'll be going down the rabbit hole this evening.
Jay, that's all you playing?
Yeah,
Okay.
that and Call of Duty.
Okay.
I'm never giving up Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What you playing?
Still World of Warcraft. That's about the only thing I have time. I mean, I don't even play it that much. The only reason why I'm playing is I got a good guild. They help me out. So I've been playing that. My buddies keep trying to get me to come back to Final Fantasy 14, but only one life-sucking game at a time. So I'm sticking with that. I'll probably stick with that for a while. Shadowlands isn't too far off. I'm expecting it to come out maybe October or so. I'll probably be on WoW for a while, and I'll probably dibble-dabble in some other stuff. I do want to pick up Ghost of
Tsushima?
Yes, they I guess the new.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes, yeah, so, and a few other ones. Death Stranding just dropped to $20, so I may grab that.
So let's jump to what I'm playing, since I'm the last one left, right? So obviously I'm still playing Persona 5 Royal, but we can just assume that I'm going to be playing that for the rest of my life. So I'm just not going to mention that ever again. I'm playing this small indie game called Undermine.
Okay.
It was released on the Xbox Game Pass, so I decided to give it a go, not knowing, totally blind. And I really like it. It's a roguelite, which means that so a roguelike is a game that you start over with every playthrough. You
Okay.
play until you die, and then you start over with no carryover.
Mhm.
Roguelites, they're games where the map changes every time you play, but small things carry over to your next playthrough.
Okay. Yeah.
So it has those elements, but it plays a lot like the old school top-down Zeldas. So you play as this town of miners, and I'll get into depth why you're playing as a whole town. So you play as one person at a time, obviously, and you have to explore this mine to figure out why your town is experiencing earthquakes. And as you go lower into the mine, the dungeons get harder. But they're hard on purpose because you're supposed to die. But every time you die, you start back at the beginning as a different person, a different villager. And the things that the prior villager did carries over. So if you go down there and you find a prisoner, that prisoner might be a shopkeeper the next time you play as the new villager. So now you got a shopkeeper who you can get items from before your next run through. Power-ups get unlocked and new weapons and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I like it. It reminds me a lot of, I don't think if y'all played anything like Binding of Isaac.
Yes,
I've heard of it.
yes.
So it's the Binding of Isaac minus the poop jokes.
Okay. I actually played Binding of. I sucked at it, but I played it. So
Love Binding of Isaac. I love Undermine. What's the game I was talking about when you stepped away?
I forget.
No worries. I also played the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2
How
demo.
was it?
Yes.
I loved it. So with the demo, you only play one map, which is the remastered warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and you can only play as Tony Hawk.
Okay.
But everything else, the controls are almost the exact same. It took me a while to get back into the groove.
Is it true that they made it's an older Tony Hawk? Is Tony Hawk as he is now? Or is it the young Tony Hawk?
Yes, so it is the current age Tony Hawk.
Okay.
So supposedly all the pros that are going to be in the game are their current. They're modeled after their current
selves.
images.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's gonna be weird. Picking a character and then
50-year-old.
Skater comes
Yeah.
out 80-year-old.
Coming with his cane. He falls, he slips and desk. Oh, he's on himself.
It's such a breath of fresh air because skating games nowadays are they're modeled more after the Skate franchise more so than Tony Hawk, whereas they're more simulators than there are arcades.
Right.
And I kind of miss that arcadey feel that the Tony Hawk franchise offered.
Oh yeah.
Because I owned a skateboard once. I fell off of it once, and then for the rest of my life, it just was kind of like riding on it, sitting down. Like
Put your knee on it.
I'm not interested in getting like good at skateboarding, so I kind of want that arcadey kind of skateboarding game, and Tony Hawk really nailed it.
But I think a lot of like arcade sports games really don't do as well as they used to in the past. They've tried to like redo the NBA Jam tournament stuff. What's the new one? Playgrounds, NBA Playgrounds.
Yeah, NBA Playgrounds didn't do well,
Yeah.
but that's just there's some control issues and server issues, but that is some 2K's issue. Servers suck.
Okay, that
And
sounds
that
about
issue
right.
carried over with
Too,
that. It's
okay.
a lot of other things other than that, but I think it's going to be. So skating arcaders, they do well. Racing arcade games normally do
Racing,
well,
yeah.
better than the sim
Mhm.
arcade.
Yeah, what was
racing games.
Burnout was a good one.
Yeah.
I love
Burnout,
Burnout series.
Need for Speed.
Forza Horizon.
Forza Horizon was good.
Yeah, so I think there's a big market for that arcade skater, and Tony Hawk's going to fill that itch.
Hopefully
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, there was a period of time where those type of arcade type games were everywhere. NBA Jam, NFL Street, and all that
Blitz,
stuff.
yep.
Blitz, like I loved it, but you could tell, like developers started focusing when that period started to fade away. They started focusing on more single player games, and then when MMOs became popular, everything else just kind of got pushed to the side. But now there's a resurgence, which I'm happy for, because I just want to play. I want to play a game where I can just play a mindless game. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really trying to like get
Put the right shocks on it. Put
Right.
the right wheels. Run 50 laps. Like, come on, I just want to run some people over. Besides in Grand Theft Auto.
I get tired. You get tired of grinding or having to do a raid and stuff like that. So it's good that those type of games are making a comeback. So.
Yeah, sometimes you need just a palate cleansing game. You can just turn on in between, let's say, 120 hours of Persona, and you can just shut your mind off and skateboard.
Yes.
That's what Tony Hawk 1 and 2 I think is going to do.
Hopefully so.
It's remastered by Vicarious Visions, the people who remade the Crash Bandicoot 1 through 3.
And that, they did good with that.
So good, yeah. So utmost faith. I really like the demo. I think I'm gonna be day one when it comes out.
Okay. When did they ever release for that?
Yes. Shit, I don't know it.
Okay.
So next week's redaction.
Google
Hey,
it.
guess what's happening next week?
I'm also playing Hyperscape. That
Look at you! You are everywhere.
I'm trying to do
I'm a little
thing.
jealous
Oh,
over
His
here.
family misses him, man.
I'm trying to research for the podcast, do some stuff.
Okay.
So Hyperscape is a new battle royale because we needed one of those.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Made by Ubisoft. It came out, I believe, a month ago on PC, and it just got ported to the PS4 and Xbox One last week.
Okay.
So I played a little bit of that. The problem is that the one thing that makes Hyperscape stand out from the other battle royales is its Twitch integration. So if you're playing on PC, you can set up the Twitch integration, and the people watching your stream can vote on modifications to your game. So they can turn on like zero gravity,
Okay.
mess up your jumps, or it'll turn on like some other stuff. It's weird.
It's interactive.
Yeah, exactly. And the people watching the stream, they earn points to level up their battle pass just like the person playing. But there is no Twitch integration for console. So that feature is gone. So now it's really just
another
battle royale, right? The only other good feature that I liked is when you die, there are respawn points like Apex, but while you're dead, you still control like yourself in like an astral plane. So you still can move yourself around. You just can't interact with people. So that's pretty cool because I was using it to kind of cheat a little bit. So I can die and kind of like scout the area ahead.
Okay.
And still like voice chat with everybody and let people know what's ahead of them. So that was cool. But besides that, I don't think this game is going to get anybody away from Fortnite if you like Fortnite, or Warzone if you like Warzone. I don't know. We'll see.
You just gave me an idea.
Yeah.
But we'll talk offline on that. I don't want anybody to hear this podcast and steal my idea. But it was, as you were talking, you mentioned some of the stuff you mentioned about that game. Light bulb.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk.
Hell yeah, man.
Why don't we what was the game for Xbox? The 1 versus 100.
Oh,
yeah,
I
the one
loved that game.
So why don't these games that have those like offline like integration things like they don't do? Because that was a good thing. The 1 versus 100, they were supposed to do a few other things like where you were like people offline could like vote and have and like actually take part in the game. And those games just don't. Is it that they're missing something, or people are just like, I don't want to?
I don't know. I don't know why 1 versus 100 didn't like take off the way I thought it would. Yeah.
Good idea.
Usually in those cases, it's like the developers, they're trying to cash in, and basically they put all this money gets put up front, and if they don't make it back within a certain amount of time, it's pretty much that project is pretty much dead after that.
I remember like tuning in, me and Cool Cav, shout out to Cool Cav, we would do the 1 versus 100, and then one day I went to go and it just wasn't there. So that was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm playing right now. Oh, and I wanted to point out I am watching Star Trek Lower Deck.
Star Trek Lower Deck.
Y'all watching that?
Nah.
I am not.
I'm not buying another streaming service. My streaming fees are already like
what's that? What is that on?
It's on CBS All Access. That's something I wouldn't pay for. My mom actually pays for CBS All Access, and I just use it.
Probably doesn't even know she pays for it.
So mom, if you're listening, can Mike and I
don't change your password. But Star Trek Lower Deck is an animated show. The art style is very akin to Rick and Morty, and I think some of the animators of Rick and Morty work on this show. But it's an adult animated series, not super adult. They're not doing real crass things like Rick and Morty, but there are like some curse words and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's a Star Trek show that doesn't focus on the captains in the bridge. It focuses on the lower enlisted people in the lower deck,
which is different.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny. It wasn't really a moment that made me laugh out loud per se,
pretty.
But it was. I was entertained. That's the perfect word.
Are you not entertained? I'm sorry, sir.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it. So if you already have CBS All Access, I suggest you watch it. If you don't, yeah.
Even though it's not in the lineup, John watched was telling me just a little bit about the Lovecraft.
Lovecraft.
Oh, it came out Sunday. I didn't watch it yet.
Last night on HBO. So far it's off to a good start.
Yeah.
And it's good. If you're not familiar with H.P. Lovecraft, he's an author who apparently is racist. I just found out from the show last night.
Yeah,
they
the dude that made Cthulhu.
Yeah,
Super racist.
Which is
they,
bad.
they actually bring that up.
Yeah.
That's actually what I appreciated about the show. Like they didn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
They went into it like, oh yeah, he's a racist, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he has this one famous quote where like he's comparing black people to his pet dog.
Yeah.
Well, do you know his cat's name was
Man.
Yeah. I mean, and it's bad because like I like that type of, but you know how like I can't like it, you know.
Well,
you know.
So the thing is, with the show, now the show is actually based on the book. The book is based on, you know, the lore of H.P. Lovecraft. So he's integral to the show, like the background and everything. And what I really appreciate about the show was that one of the things is like everybody, like the family that you follow, like the family, the uncle, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but they all are into like science fiction and horror and stuff like that. But it's presented in a way where it's commonplace. Like it's not abnormal for black people to be back then to be interested in that stuff. So it wasn't like, you know, when some shows you have a black kid or you know, a black kid who's interested in like monsters and stuff, and then you got the parents like, why are you looking at that stupid stuff? That stuff is dumb.
Oh, right.
You know, just but no, like the whole family, like the daughter, she draws comic books. She likes science fiction. Her dad, she draws the comic books for her dad to take on his trips. The whole family loves it. Okay. Even the nephew, he reads John Carter and stuff like that. So it makes it commonplace, and I appreciated that because we always act like African Americans aren't into that stuff or never were. Right. And we actually were, and actually back in the day, there are a few authors that wrote science fiction and horror that you just don't hear about, right? Because it was so not taboo, but it wasn't, you know, frowned upon. Frowned upon. I was about to say, yeah. So yeah, Lovecraft Country on HBO. Check it out. First episode was last night. It's really good.
Nice.
So my problem with shows like that, those shows are so good that it hurts my soul to wait week to week. So I may wait till like 3 or 4 of them to come out. The only show that I watched week to week was Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Game of Thrones and True Blood. We were talking about True Blood when it was good. After that 5th season, I was just like, did you watch True Blood?
Up until the 5th season.
Yeah, but you did not miss anything. Good for you. Yeah. Good for you. After that 5th, when I seen the smoke monster, I was like, oh, we're fucked. Here we are. The writers have gone to sleep, and now the monkeys are literally in there. So what do we have next?
Next is our ad break. So
what we selling?
We're selling whatever you buying. We're selling. We started up a Patreon.
We started up a Patreon.
They started up a Patreon.
Brian started up a Patreon.
So as you can imagine, producing podcasts and video game streams can get pretty expensive, and we need your help.
Please.
So
I need a haircut,
and you know that would help too. We need to prepare for the podcast with haircuts and stuff like that. So go to patreon.com/MAPGameTech.
MAPGameTech.
Map
game
And please sign up to be a Patreon supporter. Yes. We have tiers starting as low as $6 a month.
Just $6 a day can help host 3, 4.
I need a haircut.
Yeah, if you guys can't go to Patreon and sign up, help us out so we can help you guys to bring bigger and better content. So,
and they're good incentives for signing up. We'll have exclusive chat rooms. You'll have exclusive access to our podcast. You'll be able to make topics. And at the highest tier, you'll be able to sign up for a contest for tangible prizes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, man.
T-shirts too?
T-shirts too. We do have T-shirts in the works. We have some nice stuff coming down the pipe. We really do. So keep tuning into the podcast. And if you're in the Baltimore area, stop down to the shop. We'll give more information on that later as well.
Patreon.com/MAPGameTech.
We
need that money!
So the main topic of the day, we wanted to discuss famous video game crossovers and video game crossovers we would like to see in the future. So let's start with video game crossovers that already exist.
So earlier we were talking about the Tekken Street Fighter versus, crossover. Capcom made the. If I get this wrong, I'm sorry, and I'm
Mhm.
sorry, FGC guys out there. They made the Capcom versus Tekken. Where Capcom made it, and it was like the 2D type, and then Namco was supposed to make the 3D version of it, but it never came to fruition, which was probably a good thing. I don't know. The Street Fighter EX plus Alpha 3D thing was cool, but I'm not sure of how Namco would have like implemented it. Even though, like you said, Akuma looks pretty good, and
Akuma looks pretty good. in Tekken.
yeah, he fit pretty
fits.
well. Yeah, he fits. So, I mean, I guess it could have worked, but I actually kind of like it. Not always just kind of like wondering, like, oh, I wonder what would have happened if it did come out, but it didn't, and I'm good with that. So that's one crossover that came out that.
Yeah, we were saying I couldn't remember if Street Fighter Cross Tekken actually came up, or if I just was having some sort of fever dream or something like that.
You actually, that wasn't.
It happened.
With all the
It
drugs you
happened.
did take, that was actually real. So
because they made a big deal about it when the deal was made.
right.
That Capcom was going to make this game and Namco Bandai was going to make this game, and they kind of just like threw the game out there.
Mhm.
Like they never made it a big deal. That just like
Yeah, it just kind of like came out one day. You just kind of like went in the store. You like, when the hell did this come out? Like they like it was like all big hype, and then it was just like, yeah, here it is. And you were just like, oh, when the no promotion, no nothing. So
But I just like you said, I think the Tekken characters. That's an interesting thing to see the Tekken characters in the Street Fighter engine. I think the Street Fighter characters lose a lot if they were to go to the Tekken engine, because the Tekken engine is not saying Street Fighter engine isn't combo intense,
right,
but like there's no like fireballs in Tekken. There's no Hadoukens and Sonic Booms and you would have to strip those characters of that to make them make sense in that Tekken world.
yeah, and to make them match up, because if that's the, I mean, even though again, I've seen the guys play it, even though Akuma has fireballs,
Yeah.
it's still a feasible thing for Akuma to fight Paul, and it's still a perfectly good matchup.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not seeing Dan fight King.
Yeah.
Get his ass. kicked.
Yeah. Crossover.
Alien versus Predator.
There's an Alien
Ooh,
versus.
I didn't even think about
There's
that.
an Alien versus Predator game out.
There's a couple of
Sure.
them.
Yeah, 2D beat 'em up game that you
Yeah,
can play
in the
right
arcade.
here at MAP Technologies, believe it or not. Yeah, there've been a few Alien versus Predator. There's actually a even though it's a comic, there's Predator versus Batman comic. I know how much you
yeah.
love Batman.
Right.
Try not to do the backflip out.
I'm sorry. F Batman.
Yes, if by some chance you had noticed, John does not like DC.
Don't.
In any way, shape, form, or fashion. So if you ever hear any DC mentions toward him or Xbox mentions toward him, he detests both.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room, the obvious crossover, Marvel versus Capcom?
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel
Yeah,
versus Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom, which again I liked up until 3. 3 didn't fare as well with me as it did the other ones, but
They tried to change it too much.
yeah,
Mhm.
3 seems to be pretty popular. Actually, we have a comic book day coming up, and we're running Marvel vs. Capcom 2, 3, and Injustice. So 3 is still pretty popular. Infinite, that monstrosity was pretty bad.
Was that the one with like the super shitty story?
It did, and it looked super shitty. Like people were like, "What is one?" Like
They
Chung Li
showed
come out like, they're like, "Oh my, what the fuck is happening to Chung Li?" Like it was a mess.
Chun Li
Like,
looked like Dwight from The
Yeah,
Office.
it was bad. It was bad. I'm not sure on how they dropped the ball on that. I'm not sure what. I would just like to be in the room with some of these games when they're being developed, and they'd be like, "This is a great idea. These people are going to love this." And it's like, what? Whatever. I think the biggest crossover that everybody want to see, and I'm not sure how they would ever make this aesthetic work while we're talking about fighting games, is of course Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Well, we're gonna get to what we want to see later.
I knew that. I was just testing you to see if you remember the lineup, and you did.
Since they were talking about stuff that actually exists right
How about Superman versus? No, I'm kidding.
now. One that I'm sure none of you are thinking of that actually is near and dear to my heart is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
I know what
yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about.
Ubisoft worked with Nintendo on a turn-based strategy game, and it's so weird because up until that coming out, I never played turn-based strategy games. They never appealed to me. I never played any XCOM before that. What's another one? Total
XCOM is
War.
awesome.
Right.
Yeah, I went back. I played XCOM 2 after Mario plus Rabbids, and I don't even know what made me get Mario plus Rabbids. It's just really you can slap Mario on anything and I'll buy it 'cause like an idiot.
Keep it up, Nintendo.
Mario Lawn Care Simulator. Day one, give me 2 copies.
Mario COVID Eater. All the great games. This game's great.
But it was so good. The controls are so good. They did a good job of balancing everything, introducing a lot of turn-based strategy mechanics. Like there's an Overwatch mechanic in Mario plus Rabbids. And they did a good job because this is the first Mario game, and it was a big stink about it, where the Mario characters are using guns.
Right.
And I don't know how Ubisoft convinced Nintendo to do it, but it came off really good. And the cutscenes for a game that's on the Switch damn near look like Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good looking game. Yeah.
So GG's Ubisoft for pulling that off.
So
and not putting Assassin's Creed in the middle of it.
I was
come
waiting
hopping
for
up. Yeah.
Sam Fisher.
Yeah. I'm sneaking out. What the hell is happening? Come down, slit Mario throat. Oh my God.
So
That's
another
really cool.
crossover that just popped in my mind: Smash Brothers.
Duh.
Yeah,
The biggest crossover of all time.
What? Who? Smash? Never heard this game.
Smash Brothers. Who we got? We got SNK in there with Terry
Yeah.
Bogard. We got Pokemon.
We got some Sega characters, Bayonetta, which is one of the trivia questions. I think
Sega Sonic.
nobody got that question. Yeah,
Banjo Kazooie.
Dilbert.
Pac-Man.
Fire Emblem. Yeah.
That's a huge that one.
It's almost getting comical to how big that crossover is. Like now, the Banjo, even though we begged for Banjo for a long time, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. When are we gonna get another Conquer?
Never.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because we want it.
Well, I mean, that's to get off topic. Is I don't think even back then making that mature game with that kind of art style was adventurous.
Yes.
And it just happened to work out. I don't know if Microsoft is willing, who owns the license to that game now. I don't know if they're willing to take that kind of risk
Yeah.
for the new Conquer.
Wow, when we get
Of that akin of Bad Fur Day.
because we could just get a new Halo, right?
There could be I don't know if you noticed, they made a new Conquer. It was only available for what is it called? I think it's called Smart Glass. Microsoft's AR thing.
I remember that because I could coincide the stuff with my phone.
It's not Smart Glass. That was something else. It's a mixed reality thing.
I don't think I remember that.
It's glasses. It never really made mainstream.
Oh, that sounds about right.
But it was basically glasses you could put on, and it basically played augmented reality games like Pokemon Go.
Okay.
And Conquer had a game on that was just dumb. You lose the charm of Conquer when he's not cursing and being
That's
drunk.
the purpose of getting Conquer.
Let's see. Fortnite had a bunch of crossovers.
Yes.
They're still doing them.
They just brought a bunch of DC people in there, right? Joker.
I guess. Okay, whatever.
You brought it up.
I mean, they did have Marvel. You know, they had a Thanos event. They got Deadpool skins. You know, they got Thor's hammer. Had to bring that. Oh, you got Batman.
That's Aquaman. Fuck this podcast.
Speaking of DC, I know you. Let's get this one out of the way.
Okay.
NetherRealm and Injustice.
Yeah.
That's a big crossover, very successful one. I don't know how they saved it because Mortal Kombat versus DC, I did not like that game. I don't think.
COVID.
Let's just make all the sounds that aren't appealing when people
Right.
are listening to. You got a fart you want to put out?
Yeah. Well, I actually just want to shove the mic up my ass to cut that middleman out. But the Injustice games did pretty well.
Really good.
Again, I think it takes away from Mortal Kombat where you just can't like murder your like I want to like
Mhm.
the purpose of playing a Mortal Kombat game is because I want to fight you and I want to murder you. I want to see blood. I want to see guts. I don't want to see Superman punch you.
But I think they did get a good job. I think the main concern was balancing. Like you brought up Superman. Like there's no way Superman and Batman can have a fist fight.
Right.
But they did a good job of explaining the balancing issue between like a Superman or like a Wonder Woman and stuff like that. And the story, speaking of which, is phenomenal. That I I believe the Injustice games inspired the Injustice comics.
I thought it was the other way around.
Is it?
I think it's the other way.
Let me
around.
do my research. Please don't
Yeah.
get.
I at least know that
There's some
about
comic book
DC.
fan right now. Like, I'm going to keep up these. 'Cause it's got to
I think
go.
it was an Injustice series, or there was the series coincided with the game, meaning
Maybe
there was a
yeah.
plan to.
Yeah.
But I want to say in the comics came before the game, and then it was so popular that they did a sequel.
Yeah, they did Injustice 2, and it was pretty good. Like, I know John doesn't really deal with DC, but DC is actually writing some pretty good stuff right now.
Any more crossovers we can think of?
Monster Hunter had a couple. They
Okay.
had one with
Final Fantasy.
They had Final Fantasy crossover,
Yeah.
Mhm.
where you fight the Behemoth, and then in Final Fantasy 14, I think the
Mhm.
MMO, you fight Rathalos
Oh, really? That's cool.
as a raid boss. They also had a Horizon Zero Dawn crossover,
They
where
did.
the main character in that you can get all her gear.
Yeah.
And Devil May Cry, but of course that's a Capcom
Oh yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yep, you get Dante's whole outfit.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
I don't know if it's necessarily a crossover akin to what we're talking about, but the Super Mario RPG from the Super Nintendo, made by Square Enix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, we're showing our age here.
So for all of you that didn't exist when the Super Nintendo was so Mario wasn't always RPG friendly.
Mhm.
It didn't, and Nintendo wasn't always,
Right. The person that made it, yeah, they had to kind of like go to somebody like, hey, can you help
Yeah.
us out with this RPG?
and they
Yeah.
weren't always willing to let other publishers use their IP.
Mhm.
But for some reason, they were cool with letting Square Enix make this RPG akin to how Final Fantasy's played back then
Mhm.
with Super Mario, and it was really good.
It's a really good game. I still play it on emulator. Like,
Put it on the Switch, you cowards.
make a sequel.
It
Wow,
took-
yes.
Well,
Wow.
though, arguably, that inspired the Paper Mario franchise.
Okay.
Right?
Because the next one did kind of, the initial one, you had to hit the button at the right time.
Yeah.
And I think the next one kind
Yes.
of did the same thing. I didn't play the last one, Origami. Is that the latest?
Yeah, I didn't play that one yet either.
Okay. I think that's not as RPG-ish as the others.
It's still a turn based.
Okay.
The battles are still turn based.
All right.
But yeah, that pressing the button at that time of the action to increase the damage or to increase your protection, that started with the Super Mario RPG.
Yes.
And back then that was a very innovative. Nobody was doing that.
You had to hit a button. Oh my God. What do we have? What's going to happen next?
Now, yeah, I mean, arguably, yeah, the Paper Mario games are technically the sequels of Super Mario RPG, but people who are hardcore fans of it want a real sequel because there are original characters in that game that Nintendo never brought out ever again, like Geno, and Mello, and playable Bowser.
Playable Bowser, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Super Nintendo.
One of the greatest systems.
Absolutely.
So another crossover that popped in my head,
Mhm.
which most fighting game fans love, Capcom versus SNK.
Capcom versus
Ooh,
SNK,
yeah.
That was
Yep.
probably, I owned that game about 2 or 3 times.
Mhm.
One of my favorite fighting games ever.
If,
Like,
the guy that Jason helps us, shout out to Brother Harding, Jason Harding. Capcom vs SNK 2 is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
really good. He was in magazines. He was really good at it. So, yeah, I'm not really good at it.
I wish I could buy that game now. It's like $200.
And what about that one for the Wii, Capcom versus Tetsunuko?
What?
Tetsunuko versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You never heard of that?
No. Yeah.
I picked it up because it looked cool, but I knew none of those Tetsunuko characters. There's I'm gonna kick myself later when I remember it, but it's an anime where a bunch of them are from. It's like their version of like the Power Rangers, and I'm never gonna remember it, but yeah, they were in it. Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like it because the Wiimote is obviously not a fighting game friendly controller, but yeah, I picked it up. I played it for a little bit. The art style was really cool, even though the controls sucked. I brought up Tetsunuko versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, he just made it up. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it.
Just made up some weird word.
It was a Wii exclusive. I didn't like it because it was, when I play Street Fighter games, I like the light, medium heavy. I like that aesthetic, or at least at the very least, because I think I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I get this wrong. I think Darkstalkers has all three, but there are a couple Capcom fighting games that at least have a light and a heavy. Tatsunoko versus Capcom only had like 3 buttons, so
Well,
like
it
one
wasn't
was a
enough
punch.
buttons.
Yeah, and it just throws me off because I have these people like Ryu, and I'm used to playing them with 6 buttons, and now I have 3. So like the punch button, but when you do it this way and that, I just didn't like it. Looked nice, but no.
Okay.
But it was a crossover.
I'll Google it. I don't think this game exists.
It
but
looks
whatever.
the art the art style was very cool. Give
Yeah.
it that at least. But yeah, I definitely it wasn't fun to play.
Yeah, it wasn't. But the theme music was really good.
Yeah.
But yes, it's actually a real game.
Okay.
Shit. I was trying to hurry up and Google it. And I should have had a prepared list. But get out your phone.
There's
a Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei crossover.
What?
It was on the Wii U and it just got ported to the Switch earlier this year. Hold
Folks,
on.
if you're listening, can you Google these games?
Can you grab
he's just naming
I'm
the
just
game
making-
and putting
It was
a Japanese name next to
that was a
it.
Ghosts and Goblins and Halo crossover.
You don't remember DC versus Chupacabra?
Super Mario versus Nagasaki. Like what?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE.
That's right. And there's also a Triple X movie name.
So I never played it. I kind of wanted to play it because it looks really good and it reminds me a lot of Persona, obviously because it's a Shin Megami Tensei characters in it.
Yeah.
But it's a turn-based RPG that's also mixed with a rhythm game. And
That sounds very Japanese.
yeah, I can't really go into depth. Like I said, I haven't played it yet because it was on the Wii U. I'm gonna eventually pick up the Switch version when Nintendo does a $10 price drop. But
Wii U?
yeah, it looks good.
Now, are we counting? So we're doing crossovers.
Mhm.
So are we counting mods as crossovers too?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, because XCOM 2
Mhm.
has a very, very good Star Wars mod.
Really?
Yes. So if you've ever played XCOM 2 and you love that game, imagine that just everything is Star Wars. So your team, you could have a team of Star Wars rebels or Jedi Knights fighting the Empire or other alien races and stuff like that. So I've seen it even the voice packages are totally, everything is totally modded to Star Wars.
Damn.
Even the levels, everything. So if we're counting mods, if you're an XCOM 2 fan, if you have PC, if you're of the PC master race.
Why hasn't a developer thought of that? I mean, that's almost like a no-brainer.
So it sounds like we're running out of current crossovers. So why don't we?
I can't think of anything else.
It's
That's
fine.
probably a ton more. We're just not. Of course, we'll think of them tonight while we sleep. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
mean-
so if you can think of other crossovers before we Google them,
Yeah.
just hit us up.
Let us
and
know.
let us know. We can talk about it next time, maybe.
Hop in our DMs on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at MAP GameTech.
Sign up for the Patreon first, though.
Sign up for the
Shameless
Patreon.
plug. Yeah. Shameless plug.
You can talk to us, but
Yeah,
you gotta pay.
I need a haircut. I need a haircut.
So let's talk about crossovers that we would like to see.
Yeah, there's so much that I would like to see. So much stuff I heard in rumor mill that just never came to fruition.
Like what?
Like I said, the first one would just be, I know Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I know what's the maker of Mortal Kombat?
NetherRealm.
But the guy that made it.
Oh, Ed Boon.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I would love to do it," but again, those are just two different aesthetics. I'm not sure how you would.
Street Fighter. You said Street Fighter.
Yeah,
versus
Mortal Kombat. I mean, those were the fighting game powerhouses. You
Right.
know,
Both universes would make sense. It's just I don't know if Capcom's gonna ever let you decapitate.
I
Ryu.
know. Yeah, so just again, putting it together would just be the thing. Man,
I don't know. I would love to see Sagat just Tiger knee somebody's head
For
clean off
sure.
the shoulder.
Yeah.
Clear off
It would
their
be cool
shoulders.
if they could ever work it out. But that's never gonna work
Yeah,
out.
never. Yeah, it's never gonna work out.
Chun Li hit you with the kicks and your body just body just fall apart.
Wouldn't we just love to kill Dan
Yeah.
multiple times?
We ain't even gotta like. We ain't
Look.
got. Yeah, he could just die. Like he ain't even got. Can we just kill?
That would be the ultimate joke. Like they just have like everybody has like no matter who you're fighting, they have a separate Dan fatality where you push your opponent out of the way and it's like
Oh,
Dan.
Dan just And like, what the hell I did?
I wasn't even here.
I was home asleep. Shut up, like you're Dan. Wow, poor Dan. Poor Dan. Ah,
Watch.
What else do
A
we
couple
like?
years from now, it's gonna happen.
I would also like to see Castlevania and like a Dark Souls, because I mean that's like Castlevania,
man.
Dark Souls, kind of
Hell
like that. Yeah,
Ooh, that would be
Oh,
good.
yeah.
that would be good. Yeah, just the Dark Souls, you know how hard it is, but just in the Castlevania universe. You imagine fighting the Grim Reaper.
Because they
just
have already established like dimension hopping.
yeah.
So
That
it
would
wouldn't
be cool.
it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Simon or one of the Belmonts to fall into the Dark Souls world or vice versa. So
Just put a whip on them and go for broke.
That reminds me of the 3D Castlevania games that came out for the 360 and the PS3. They weren't good.
Yeah, they
Car
were-
The
yeah.
Lord
Car
of
bomb.
Yeah.
Lords of Shadow. They were like God of War ripoffs.
Yeah, they were. They were. Actually, somebody just traded some in. I think it was 2 discs on one of the. I think it came out. The first one came out for PlayStation 2.
What'd you give him?
Lords of
Man,
Shadow?
You gave him a candy bar?
I think he paid me to take it. Here's $10. It might have been 360 because 360 couldn't hold as much as the PlayStation 3 games.
Yeah, I
but,
played both of them on the 360, regrettably.
Yeah. I mean, they were worthy tries, try to breathe life back into the genre, but I mean, they just didn't work. That, but a lot of those, like Sonic games, not to keep going off topic, but in my opinion, the Sonic games don't do well when they try to do 3D. I don't know if they
Yeah,
just
they just
can't
need to figure it
implement
out.
it well or whatever.
You can't run fast and platform in a 3D space. It's just you can't do it.
Unless you like seizures.
Unless you like running off cliffs. You just can't do it. A lot of people praise Sonic Adventures, and I guess whatever, but I have not played a good. No. I'll say it. I have not played a good 3D Sonic ever.
Have you played Sonic Heroes?
Ever. No, Sonic Heroes was good, but it was damn near on rails how you ran. Like it was impossible for you to run off the
you
cliff.
couldn't run off the cliff.
Yeah.
But I think that was the purpose. Like,
Yeah.
if they made it where you run off cliffs, I guess it just wouldn't be fun because you're going so fast, you would just keep running off cliffs.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess if you make another Sonic Heroes where you just can only run forward and backwards, then I guess so.
I guess one that popped in my head, I think would probably be one of the biggest crossovers if they did it well. Mario and Lego.
Well,
that would be cool.
Well,
Now, I don't know how the game would go, but or just a Mario, just a Mario game in the Lego world, like
they made the Lego sets earlier.
yeah, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I actually make a game for it.
I don't think it's far fetched if they agreed to make the Lego set.
Yeah, if
Right.
they could do that. I mean, because like Nintendo doesn't let hardly anybody touch their, especially their baby Mario. So they're gonna do that. I mean, it's Legos. They can't do anything crazy.
Have they done any? Well, even their worst outings are half decent.
Yeah,
So
the Lego games are just great. Like
Yeah.
there aren't too many bad Lego games, like you just said. That even their worst ones are pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think they made a bad one. It's just for a while they were derivative because they were just the same game with a different skin until they kind of figured out how to change them with the Marvel superheroes and DC villains. But
You just working on getting this place burned down.
But no, I think that would be cool. A Lego Super Mario game. I think that would be cool.
Another one, not to beat on Castlevania a lot, but I would like to see Castlevania and the Soul Reaver series mesh together. But I would also like to see the Soul Reaver series just like come back. Why did they? But Idios got bought up by somebody, so
You just like to see anybody but Konami make a Castlevania.
speaking of Castlevania,
Speaking of Castlevania,
Dark Souls,
Souls,
Castlevania.
Are we getting a trifecta here?
Okay.
All
All right. Dark Souls, Castlevania,
Castlevania.
and I'm drawing a blank right now. But the games, Devil May Cry,
That could work. Devil May Cry, yes.
Dark Souls, Castlevania.
Well, Devil May Cry is almost like when you start to play it later on. The game starts to get a little hard. It's like, oh, these devils taking a
and then it's like
Take a couple hits.
so, and then this is all coming to me just all at once.
Okay,
So
all right.
so the premise is right. It's kind of like a Spider-Verse type thing
Okay.
where the demons, the powers that be, are just destroying the multiverse. So all the Belmonts, Dante and his son, and whoever else he ever been with, and then everybody
Everybody's
from
gang,
the Dark
gang
Souls
up. Like,
all
what's
join
going on?
up,
What's going on,
and
baby?
they try to take they're taking down the bad guy.
Okay. All right.
I just creamed my pants.
Yeah. Excuse me while I change myself.
Can we take a commercial break?
So hear me out.
Okay.
So all companies who make consoles, they have that's one game where all their mascots come together in it.
Right.
Nintendo has Smash Brothers.
Right.
Sony has that Smash Brothers game that we're going to remain nameless.
That garbage.
So why doesn't Microsoft do something like that? Not with a fighter,
Right.
because that would be dumb.
Yeah.
Why don't they do something that they're pretty good at doing and make a cross-universe shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gears of War, Halo, but what else? When you think of
They own the Rare license. Now I know this is going to be far-fetched. Rare made GoldenEye.
they did,
Why don't we bring
and Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark. Bring
But then you have to get licenses for James Bond as well too.
that was crazy talk. James Bond's not going to happen.
Right.
But Perfect Dark, that's another person you can put in. I forget her name. Dark.
Yeah. Perfect.
Dark L Perfect.
But I mean, even you could get ridiculous. Put Conqueror in it and give him a gun.
Yeah,
Put
why not?
Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna do it, yeah.
And and make it some sort of like,
Arcadey cart.
even if you make it some sort of like Fortnite-esque battle royal.
Yeah, do something.
I'm gonna
with it.
copyright that. Don't you steal my idea, Bill Gates, you bastard.
$1 billion. Yeah. I would like to see a Transformers versus GoBot game. I know that's a little dated.
You are like 50.
Transformers versus GoBot.
Yeah, man.
How's that gonna go?
I don't know. They both transform. Let's fight it out.
You play as the Autobots and the Decepticons.
Yeah.
And all you do is go around kicking GoBots. Like,
You just go around beating up
'cause
robots that
you know there's a size difference, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we're gonna make it happen. That's the point of this. We're making stuff happen. We're making stuff happen. Did the GoBots have like a good guy and bad guy side? If they did, what would they call?
They had the trash and the least trash. The whole series is trash.
I want to see Transformers and GoBots.
Okay.
To this day, it's gonna be
All
my
right.
dad. Be on my dad. Transformers, GoBots, nigga. Oh. What?
Now, all right, so good. You went to cartoons and stuff like that. So this just popped in my head too. So Thundercats, Silverhawks, Tiger Sharks, because those were
all the same.
they were supposed to be a trilogy and they all were in the same universe. That
I
was the
didn't know that.
intention.
I didn't know that.
Didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. Look it up. Yeah.
Did we?
So
ever
if we
a-
can actually get a game with all those characters in there.
Did we get a Thundercats game for the? Was there ever a Thundercats?
I don't think
game?
there was
I've never
ever a
heard of a
Thundercats
Thundercats
video
game.
game.
Why?
And usually when you think there wasn't a game, there was probably one on PC at some point.
I guess you're right, but yeah, we never got a. Out of those three, Thundercats is by far the more popular, but we never got Silverhawks. We never got, and yeah, we never got any of those games. Good cartoons. It just never did anything. With
Oh, fun fact. In the most recent Thundercats cartoon, the Tiger Sharks do make a cameo.
Cool.
They're on one of the screens in the background. Actually, Silverhawks and Tiger Sharks make a cameo. Monstar, yeah. So it's a background shot. They have monitors. Monstar's on one monitor, and it's just something that looks like a Tiger Shark on another.
The Cartoon Network remake.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's rain.
That's big rain.
this is not necessarily a video game crossover per se, but I would like to see these two companies get together to make this project happen. You know the anime Demon Slayer?
Mm-hmm.
I think that needs to be a RPG, and I would like to see it made by Atlas.
Okay.
Atlas is the people who make
Yes.
Persona and Shin Megami Tensei.
I can see that. Yeah, I could see, yes. And speaking of RPGs, I would like to see a Final Fantasy Dragon Warrior cross up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I would like to
Okay.
see that. I'm an RPG guy, so why not? If you're gonna do it, I think they could get together and do it right somehow, somewhere. Maybe it's like an incursion, like in Marvel, what's happening right now. The world's coming together. Nasty
You know what I would
Lady
like to
Dragon.
see?
What would you like to see?
Take Samurai Showdown,
Uh-huh.
and actually get like or Guilty Gears, and actually go and grab like anime characters that would fit in that world.
Well, they do. What's the
Like
name does that?
take all the characters from like Kenshin and and
Okay.
Ninja Scroll and
Oh.
put them in Samurai Showdown. That would be dope.
That would be
That'd be
dope.
real dope.
That'd be dope in Guilty because they have that hand drawn
Yeah,
anime.
and Guilty
type.
Gears,
Yeah.
yeah. Like Sailor Moon and Guilty Gears.
Sailor
That
Moon,
would-
Guilty Gear.
That'd be. Oh my goodness, they're gonna steal all our ideas.
Well, we have them documented.
We
That
did
doesn't mean
first.
they ain't gonna steal them.
Don't get
Because they can
any-
actually make them happen.
Don't get any bright
Legally.
ideas. I'm gonna learn how to code,
Well,
and I'm gonna be bad.
We're on to you guys.
We'll be millionaires.
Yeah. Yeah, I want the GoBots Transformers. I don't care what y'all say. GoBots Transformers.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You're like the only person on
Well,
the
that's
planet
fine.
who
I'll be
knows
the
what a
only one
GoBot
playing.
is.
Fine.
Sure.
I'm
Let's
playing
go.
it.
Let's go. Armored Core Transformers then.
Or
Ooh, that would be cool.
what's the mech turn-based game that Capcom makes? Ugh, I suck.
I don't know.
It's a turn-based RPG that Capcom makes.
You sure that wasn't a fever dream?
It probably like that. Who knows? It's just stuff.
I think I do. I think I know what you're talking about. But
Yeah, but yeah, Armored Core and Transformer, that would probably be like very tactical. Cause like, have you seen that? Remember that big joystick that came?
They're
out
probably
from
never
Armored
going to
Core?
do that again.
Yeah,
That gigantic Xbox
it was like
controller.
yeah, it was like 300. It cost as much as the Xbox. It was huge, but it came with like the real controllers. I understand what they were trying to go with, but it was just a bit much. Like nobody's paying $300 for that joystick.
even Gundam Armored Core.
Mhm.
Just wanna
Gundam
keep
Armored
it-
Core, yeah.
mech.
I think that would make more sense since people are actually
Yeah.
inside of Gundams.
Yeah. Yeah,
Why
Gundam-
haven't they made well, we will never know why they haven't, but I think they should make a game akin to that with Gundam.
Mhm.
Something like, highly customizable Gundams and things.
Yeah, there are Gundam games out. They just aren't like that. They're like fighting games and like more arcadey shooters, but there isn't like a almost like a real one, like a technical one, like what is it? Simulator.
Yeah.
Simulator.
So why don't we get a little more adventurous? So like the really successful, real shocking crossovers are the one where two companies that you would never see, could never imagine working together, get together to make this either dumpster fire or just like super successful thing. So why don't we like
All right, I got one real quick.
mhm.
Mario and Dark Souls.
That could probably work. Going through Bowser's castle and you just making it very hard, and all he could do was like jump and dash.
Tell you the truth, if Mario went back to the super difficult, not everybody's going to beat this game system, I would lock myself in the house and never come back out ever again if that ever would have happened.
What is the most difficult Mario game you think
So,
out there? 64?
Mario games is always the post game levels. Mario games are always infamous for putting in these post game levels that are super hard. So Super Mario 3D World, the one that came out on the Wii U, that thing that nobody bought, that has one of the hardest Mario levels to ever be created.
Really?
But you can't get to it until you beat the proper game.
Ah.
You basically unlock something that's kind of akin to Star Road for Super Mario World,
Mhm.
and then that has like 3 or 4 levels in it that are insanely hard to beat.
Have you ever partaken in them?
Yes.
Okay.
I did not beat them.
Okay. All right.
But I did beat there's this extremely hard world that's the final level that's post game in Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
And this one it's hard to describe. I might if I can find a way, I would have to get another copy of Odyssey. But I think that would be a cool stream.
Okay.
But yeah, hard Super Mario.
All
I
right.
love that.
How about Pokemon and Five Nights at Freddy? How would that work?
Have
How
like,
would that work?
have like a demon Pikachu.
Popping out the toilet. He said, "How would that work? How?" I mean, I've played a little bit of. Let me rephrase that. I understand Pokemon. I've partaken, but I've never played any of Five Nights at Freddy's. I know it's like
man. Once you start going down that rabbit hole, Five Nights at Freddy's, like you're not coming back.
Really?
Even with because the lore is so detailed and
Yeah,
and
it's
deep.
so weird the lore that, like you said, that was a perfect word for it. Like if you do your research, it's so in depth.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Five Nights at
Yes.
Freddy's, yes.
So crazy. I bought the VR version for PSVR.
How many? It's like 3 or 4 of them
5.
out. Really?
No, it's more than that.
It's more than 5. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's 5 proper ones.
Right.
There are a lot of spin-off games
Yeah.
where like they're different genres. I think there's a turn-based RPG.
But they all connect though.
Yeah.
They all connect. And then in those games they have mini games that
More
explain the story.
Console or PC?
They're all on PC.
They're all on PC.
They just got ported to the PlayStation VR.
Oh, okay.
The
Because
5
because they have a VR game as
Yeah.
well too. It's called
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's VR.
But the main game is you're a security guard. You're sitting at a console and you have to watch this like off-brand Chuck E. Cheese overnight.
And I know like the monster stuff starts like
The stuff comes to life, so you have to manage the electricity. You have a limited amount of electricity, so you can't. You have to choose to keep the monitors on or to keep the lights on, and the things won't attack you if the lights are on.
Okay.
But you have to take risk turning the lights on so you can monitor what's happening.
I like,
Each
I
night
like.
it gets harder and
Yeah.
harder.
So how will we
Like-
incorporate Pokemon to that? Maybe we could do that, but instead of things coming to get you, you gotta monitor the lights to catch the Pokemon. I don't-
Or get the antagonist, like maybe Team Rocket is coming.
Right.
Okay. How come they don't have their own game? Do they have their
Team
own game?
Rocket, they don't really. So the Team Rocket from the anime specifically, Jesse and James, they don't really reference them too much in the game universe.
No,
Okay.
they don't.
Yeah, they
Team,
normally.
they reference like Team Rocket,
Yeah.
but not Jesse and James.
Okay.
Yeah,
They just showed up in Pokemon Go. Matter of fact,
Okay.
a few updates ago.
yeah.
All right. What else we got? That's just completely.
So I wish I'd have thought of this when we were first talking about crossovers that actually exist. But when I said adventurous crossovers that you normally wouldn't see, Mario and Sonic, like that one, when they announced that, like that,
that was like mind blowing.
yeah, because you would never seen like Sega did what Nintendo don't. Like you never would have seen,
What was the first game? The Olympics.
yeah, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. I was like,
Mhm.
man, this is how the console war ends.
Mhm.
Them playing skee ball together, them skeeting together. Oh man.
So I don't know. Let's see. Gears. I don't even know what Sony property would make sense in a Microsoft property.
Right.
Because they're all Microsoft properties aren't grounded in reality. Like most Sony, I mean, like Uncharted, even though there are some weird things that happen in Uncharted.
Yeah, he's just an archaeologist for the most
Yeah.
part. Like you can go and search for Mahatma Gandhi's
but there are no
glasses.
aliens. There are no aliens in Uncharted.
God, these
There are no-
glasses.
I found him. Nigga was blind.
There are no locusts.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa's bra.
We could put the
Unless you go into the rare properties that they have, like the Conquerors and the stuff like. But Nintendo but Nintendo worked with Rare at a point, so it really wouldn't be super crazy to see Banjo-Kazooie in a Nintendo game because it was a Nintendo game.
what other game could you do with like a Gears of War? What like off the wall game would kind of fit in that? Like it's so weird.
What Sony game takes place in space?
What about Dead Space and
exclusive.
Gears of War? How about
That
you put the
kinda
Necro?
would be cool.
The Necro like the
Even though
Gears
it's
of War.
EA.
Dead Space is almost. I mean, not Dead Space. Gears of War. I mean, okay, Doom and Gears of War.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They just make a first-person Gears
Yeah. Yeah.
Or third person.
or
The
third-person Doom.
Yeah. Or the Gears of War people fighting what the Necromorphs, is that what they call it?
Yeah, in Dead Space they call it.
Yeah, Necromorphs. Which was a good 3 sucked. Not 3 just wasn't as good as 1 and 2.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see another Dead Space.
I don't think we are either. I think they beat that pony.
Womp womp.
You know, crossovers. All right, let's not so much. I guess crossovers, but okay. How about like NBA Jam
Mm-hmm.
with Pokemon?
So
That
like a
could work.
Space Jam.
That could work.
That would be cool as hell.
Or even Punch Out with Pokemon. Like,
I don't know what Pokemon would be good at basketball. Maybe like Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan.
But I mean, I guess the aesthetic would be that they're using their powers while they're playing the game. So
Mhm.
you could shock
Yeah.
somebody or blow the fire on you or
Bring back cartoony NBA games like the Space Jam game. Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam was super like cartoony.
Oh, remember? I can't remember the name of it, but remember the Super Nintendo? There was a hip hop basketball game.
I do remember it. Arch Rivals was like the first where you could run down a court and punch somebody in the face.
Yeah,
literally.
Bring that back.
Bam!
We was just talking about how arcadey games need to make a comeback.
Yeah, something simple. You just put in and play. You don't have to think about
And
it.
that's your chance, EA. This is your way back in.
Come on.
This is your
Come
door.
on. For 5 years, y'all rated worst company. Here's your redeeming quality right now. Just do it.
Man, imagine a Mortal Kombat basketball game.
Oh my god!
Somebody goes up for a dunk. It's
Yeah.
just like, get over here.
Come on, you mother! A real fight break out. Go to shoot the three. Just get full.
I think that'll be cool. And I don't know what stopped that from happening. I think because games are now so expensive to make that people don't want to take those risks anymore.
Right,
yeah.
But like back in the Super Nintendo era, you seen a lot of weird shit like that.
Yeah.
And just crappy games that were like actually okay because people were just like, well, fuck it, we're just gonna make this game.
You know what?
And-
Large. That got me to thinking like large developers should like set aside a little bit of money. Like get one of like an indie developer to make a game with the IP that you have. Like get somebody like NetherRealms. Don't focus on the main Mortal Kombat game, but pay somebody else to make like a
just anything. Like do something that
the NBA Jam Mortal Kombat game.
Right,
You know.
yeah.
You know what I mean. Get somebody that's gonna have the time and dedication and heart
and
to
put
do
the
it,
care into it if they're
Right.
gonna do not just rush it like, come on, what the where's the
We gotta make
Yeah.
$1 million, and by if we don't make $1 million in the first 24 hours, we're gonna
execute you.
Right,
Yeah, like, oh, that's a bit extreme.
I think EA does that not with the super ridiculous titles, but they had that smaller team, EA Motives, make Star Wars Squadrons.
Okay.
They just put them on the side and said, let's bring back Star Wars first person fighters.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but yeah.
But that game I'm gonna pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get that.
Especially with when they said the VR was going to be in, and that was day one for me. I need to fly X-wing in VR.
But I guess EA did that because they figured out a way to make money off of it.
Yeah.
EA try to make money. This is the first. I've never heard that. Awesome company.
Because
trying to do that.
they give you all the BS because they were like, the last Star Wars game to come out, what was that? Fallen Order.
Yeah.
They were saying like, oh, people don't like first person like single player games. It's not gonna do well.
I love Fallen Order.
It was
Yeah.
great, and it did okay.
And they proved that.
Yeah.
They had to eat crow after that. They were like, okay.
Damn.
Not to
They
get
liked
off
it.
topic, but I do want to talk about. So I bought Fallen Order, and before I bought it, Xbox was doing commercials for Fallen Order, and in the commercial, spoiler alert, they leaked that Darth Vader is in Fallen Order.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
At the end of the commercial, they reveal that Darth Vader, which is supposed to be a big reveal in the game,
Mhm.
like he's the final boss. Well, you don't fight him,
Right.
but he's the final reveal in Fallen Order.
Really.
But
and
yeah,
in the commercial.
in the commercial, I was like, that's so fucking stupid. But I tell you what, I played through the game and I made it to the part where Darth Vader actually showed up, and I still had that chill. Like you still get that
Because Darth Vader's the man. And again, not this. In Rogue One, they weren't going to put that Darth Vader scene in. They like added that later, and that was
I'm
by
glad they
far-
did.
But what?
Mhm.
I
Great
seen
movie,
that
great scene.
lightsaber. I was like, is that who I think it is? But that just goes to show you the allure that Darth Vader has after all this time. So
Mhm.
EA, do something right with Star Wars.
Mhm.
Get it together.
So I don't know. All right, boom. Here we go. Contra, Gears of War.
Ooh, that would be good.
It would be good.
Either way, like if they took Gears of War and made it a 2D side scroller,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that would be crazy.
Yeah.
That would
Or
be
just
so
threw
good.
the Contra guys into the Gears of War universe and some of the aliens, and yeah, that would go perfect.
And do like they did what was a Super C where even in the original one, you had the first person and then you had a side scroll back and forth.
Mhm.
They do something like that.
That would be cool because the locusts are coming from out of the earth, and then you got the alien, so the Gears of War people like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? These new aliens, and then the Contra guy was like, don't worry, we're here.
I can't believe you just made Marcus Phoenix sound like a bitch.
And now there's these aliens coming. Don't worry. When you die. I'm so tired of hearing that.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, Contra needs the help too because they made that horrible ass game like a couple months ago.
Oh,
did
was
they
a-
really?
They made a new Contra. It came out on
Oh,
the Switch.
I do. I saw
and it
saw
was
it.
trash.
Really?
So bad.
Why do they tarnish these people? Why?
It
do
had no
they-
business even being called Contra. It had really nothing to do with Contra. It just they needed a name to slap on this bad game to trick somebody into buying it.
I know what go good together. Yakuza and the River City Ransom fighting games.
Oh.
That would be cool too.
So, what aspects?
I would like the Yakuza people to be in the River City Ransom house
Okay.
and beat them up, and they're fighting all the people.
For all the audio listeners, that I hope you don't have headphones on.
Mike dropped. I mean, Mike dropped his mic.
Literally.
Mike dropped the mic.
But okay, I can see that. Something just popped in my head.
And I'm
Oh,
not sure.
okay. We got it playing in the background?
Mhm.
Punch Out game, but just like they did with Super Smash Brothers. Have a Punch Out game with just different.
Ooh, that
You know
would
what I
be
mean?
cool.
Like E Honda would fit perfect in there. E Honda has 100.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that would do good.
So you keep the protagonist as like a blank slate person,
Mhm.
and you're just fighting through all these different video game characters.
Mhm.
That would be cool as hell.
and each video game character still has that aesthetic that made them.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Like Kratos, he's got his chains. Like
Mhm. Oh shit!
Marcus trying to.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to stop being so serious. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need to cry at the end of your video games all the time. Like,
So, one game, again, this just popped in my head. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was, a Bobo or a Dobo from Double Dragon.
Yeah.
yes.
Someone, indie developer, made a game with him in it, and basically, it's just the craziest. It's like the game. The premise of the game is his son was kidnapped. He has to save his son.
Somebody kidnapped a Bobo son?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on
So,
drugs.
dude is like OP, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you're just going through another mic drop.
What is happening?
You guys okay?
I don't know. I didn't even touch it.
Need some Viagra?
I caught it that time.
But basically, it's just him going through like just wacky 2D, like
World.
8-bit worlds, just trying to get his son back. And I think I watched the video on it. I forget, it was like years ago, but I think you do go through like there are different games from like Sega and Nintendo. They were on Sega and Nintendo with different levels where you have to go through and get your son back. And it was crazy. But if I find it, we can talk about it next week.
I'm gonna play it.
But yeah,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes great. It's the perfect game that we were talking about, just being fun, and it's also a crossover game too.
So again, not to go off on the side, you talk about indie development. What do you think about like the guy that made the Mario 64 and 4K, and Nintendo was like,
all
no.
those like
Yeah.
modders that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like some of these people like do a game like based off a Nintendo game or something like that, and the developer will be like, well, you can't do that because of, and most of these games look promising, they look fun because they're like asking for what we want. We want these fun, wacky games that don't follow the template, but a lot of these companies that like don't do it, but they're not doing it, and that's the problem.
Well, that's why Sonic Mania exists. Sega was trying to make a new Sonic so bad, and they just couldn't do it. But then they found this guy that was making these PC fan Sonic games, and they hired him
wow,
to make Sonic Mania.
and it did good.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Go
It's
figure.
very-
You see how that worked?
yeah.
How many games have we seen the remember that one Pokemon, like I know it's not Green Leaf. Remember that one like bootleg Pokemon game that came out for the PC and it got downloaded like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people, it had every Pokemon plus custom Pokemon.
and
Like,
it got like it was up for like a week, and of course Nintendo was on it.
yeah.
But
So that really grinds my gears, and we'll touch on that, and then we'll get back on topic.
okay.
Pokemon. So with the Pokemon team, because Nintendo doesn't make Pokemon.
No,
they just
it's,
partner with what's their name?
The Pokemon Company. That's the name.
Yeah, the Pokemon Company. Right. They make the Pokemon games for Nintendo.
Okay.
And they know what we want. They know we want some sort of MMO where you actually. I want to be able to actually battle somebody.
Right.
In real life.
Right.
I want to be able to walk around in this world. I want to see Pokemon walking around the world, and I want to be able to interact with them. I don't want to keep walking in fucking tall grass and going into random. That shit in 2020. I should not.
You should not have to go into tall grass. That's the point.
And you're seeing you're seeing all this other not necessarily fan made, but games that are inspired by Pokemon, and they're doing it. That you heard of the game Temtem?
Yes, and it's literally Pokemon MMO.
Yeah.
It's just not Pokemon in
You
it.
idiots.
Yeah.
Like you made Sword and Shield and it's literally just it's X and Y with better graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Like what are you doing?
Right.
And which is crazy. They could almost be the next World of Warcraft. They know that they have this viable thing. If they made an MMO
Pokemon MMO
and they charged a monthly, people would pay.
I would pay
$15 a month. They could pay, and you got to pay $60 for the game and $15 a month. And people like, okay, motherfucker, we know that. Why is it not out yet?
Did you see that Pokemon Direct that happened a couple months ago?
I did.
So they teased. So it was 2 Pokemon Directs back to back in a week. And the first one they just went in depth with the DLC for Sword and Shield.
Okay.
And they teased another Direct that was happening the next day, and they were revealing a brand new Pokemon game. And obviously, people speculate.
I know what
right?
you're talking.
You know where I'm
you're
going, right? So everybody's like super.
Okay.
All
right, your turn. All right, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
I guess the mics are getting tired.
So they speculated. Everybody speculated, and it was just such a dumb idea to just let people speculate. It wound up being a Pokemon MOBA.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Like they don't already have 5 of them.
It's not out yet, but people are just like, what are you doing?
That? Who wants a Pokemon? And I understand, that may be a cool aesthetic, but that's not what people want. All right, it's cool, but
It's just it's a cash grab. That's all.
Yeah,
it's a cash grab.
Pokemon MOBA.
I mean, Pokemon. You already got Pokemon. You got Pokemon Go, which is great. They finally caught up after being behind 6 months. So they finally caught up to what they wanted in the game.
Okay.
So it's a good game.
Yeah,
it's a very good MOBA.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had one. I forget. They pretty much had one, not level, but they had one playthrough, and that's it. The game. After that, there's no point in playing the game. So they didn't update it. Cash grab, and this is another cash grab. So
yeah, they're dumb.
So I know we're going to talk. Just one last quick question. I'm gonna ask both you this question. Your favorite game? What would be your favorite game? Like for an example, you're a Nintendo guy, Mario guy. If you could have your favorite, if you could have your ultimate Mario game, what would it look like? If Nintendo came to you and was like, "All right, Brian, we're making a Mario game. What would you like to see for it to be your perfect game?"
So Odyssey was close.
Odyssey was close.
Odyssey was super close, but the only 2 other factors I want a one big open world, like one giant no hub. I don't want to get into a spaceship that will go to another level. I just want one giant Breath of the Wild esque open world.
So you can go from the Donut Kingdom to Dinosaur Land.
I just want to be able to walk. If they recreated the Super Mario World map, but I can literally walk around that whole map, that would be brilliant.
But just make it like Mario Odyssey play wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also bring back the difficulty. You don't have to make it so my 10-year-old kid can beat Mario. I don't care. He can cry. Make it for me. Or put a difficulty setting in.
Right.
But yeah, if you could bring back that old school Mario difficulty and make it open world day one.
Okay.
All right, so for me, one of my favorite games ever, one of my favorite series was MechWarrior. I like the customization of it. It was a really, really great game. Mechanics and everything. I tend to like games that are really, what's the word I'm looking for? Not so much detail. Well, I guess detailed, but have multiple mechanics in it. I like simulations. I like, okay, let me just cut to the chase. All right, give me a game where kind of like what is it? No Man's Sky. Okay. Exploration. Go to planets, do all types of different stuff. Give me that. No Man's Sky. What's the game that came out that everybody either loves or hates on PS4 with Daryl from Walking Dead.
Oh, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. Give me Death Stranded. Give me that. Give me XCOM. Give me God of War. All that mixed into one game.
I can see that.
Give me an action RPG MMO
Where you
simulator.
Packages.
Even though I asked that question, I actually haven't put that much thought into it. I mean, I kind of already have that with like World of Warcraft. That's why I play it so much. But if I had to go with something else, I really enjoyed the BioShock game. BioShock 1, I would like that, but far more expansive. I know on BioShock 1, they rushed it.
Mm-hmm.
2 wasn't quite as like I wanted like big. I wanted big and immersive, and I want something that's going to keep me coming back to it. Like maybe the world of Rapture is like constantly being like built, and you every time you come back into Rapture, there's something different. Like this time it's this, but this time we may be above water, and something like each time I come back in, there's something different, something that's BioShock. But every time I turn on, like this is new. Like there are different enemies now. There's a different power this week. There's different so on and so forth.
You know, 2K announced BioShock 4.
Oh, did they really?
They didn't show anything, but they only said that they're working on BioShock 4 and it's going to be in a different setting than BioShocks 1 and 2 and Infinite.
Okay. Infinite was cool, but it just didn't have the allure of BioShock. Like I liked the whole Big Daddy thing.
That ending was crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that ending.
Yeah.
That ending, and it wasn't a bad game. It was not a bad game. It just didn't have the allure of BioShock 1. And 2 was like almost just like an expansion. 3 was its own thing, and it was cool, but I wasn't expecting that ending. I was like, oh.
Okay, so one more sub category, then we got to wrap up because we're kind of going long. So with crossovers, the one thing that I kind of miss, but not really, and I'm kind of going to ruffle some feathers when I bring it up, is when companies that don't make games jump into the game world, like with marketing. Like it's very... So one game that I really hold near and dear to my heart is Yonoid. Have you ever heard what I'm talking about? The Domino's Rabbit.
That game was actually fun though.
It is fun. It is hard as fuck.
What about Pepsi Man? Remember that for the PlayStation?
What was it called? A Cool Spot.
Is that what it was called?
Cool Spot.
No, that was Sprite.
No, there was an actual game where you're a
with
man.
a 7-Up dot.
No, there was a game.
No, there was a game called Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man. You're actually the Pepsi. You're running around. Yes.
What?
Yes.
I never heard of that. That's crazy.
There's a game literally called You Are.
Yeah, but I remember Gonoid. I would rent that game. I love that game.
If I could play Yonoid now, I would play it. I
Mhm.
loved that game. But yeah, Yonoid, Cool Spot. I was gonna bring that up. The Super Nintendo 7-Up guy game. What else? There were a lot of them on the Super Nintendo.
I'm sorry to rape your eyes with this.
That is an ugly ass game.
It was a PlayStation 1 game. You're Pepsi Man and you're running around.
I've never heard of that.
I'm sorry.
That is so
I'm
funny.
sorry to make you see that.
And it was free?
It was not. You had to pay for the. You had to pay.
It's
to
free
get your
now.
eyes.
That was years ago.
Oh.
Your eyes
That was like 20 years ago.
That's
Man,
hilarious.
what's this? Yeah.
Yeah,
that was like 20
that
years
sounds
ago.
about right. That's funny as hell, man. Pepsi Man. Damn, I don't know why I can't think of any, but Yonoid and Cool Spot were like my two big ones. Do y'all have any?
I can't even think of any outside of that. Who
So
who
those
made
games
it?
were good. Those were good games.
I mean, there are a lot of them that are trash.
Most of them are.
Remember the 3 Burger King games?
And I was just about to say.
You don't know
like
those?
you got them. You got like
So-
when you went to Burger King and bought food, you got one of the games.
There were
One-
360 games.
Yeah.
And there was 3
oh,
of them.
it was Xbox. That's
Oh,
why.
boy. So there were 3
They
360
gave you trash to
games,
play on trash. Okay.
and if you bought a Burger King meal and paid an extra $1,
Mhm.
you got one of these games.
One was like a motorcycle game.
One was I couldn't remember. Yeah, it was a racing game where all the characters were on motorcycles.
Mhm.
One was called Sneak King, where you were the Burger King king and you had to sneak up on people and give them a burger. It's ridiculous. And I don't remember the third one.
Probably a reason why. You probably blocked it from my memory. Like We'll be
I
in
will
some
figure it out.
psychiatrist. No, Burger King.
That's gonna be one of my redactions next book. But you gotta respect those, even though they were all bad. They were all bad games objectively, but for some reason there's like they were called classics. There are a lot of people who go back and play those games. But yeah,
I wouldn't play those. Yeah. I remember those. That one, what was that? 08?
I don't know the exact date, but if anything, go back and look up footage of Sneak King. It's hilarious.
That was a good try. I mean, nice marketing, but
I'm sure they made some good money.
I'm sure they did.
I didn't know too many people that didn't have those games.
yeah, pretty much.
I didn't know.
You could probably buy them
anybody
from
had
GameStop for like $0.01.
And I'm pretty sure they didn't take that much to develop. Just a regular racing game, couple, 5 developers on it, just quick game.
I don't know who made them, but
They've probably jumped out a window by now. The game is done. Okay, I'm going right to the bathroom.
just Full Metal Jacket themselves.
Oh, was that it or?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you promote your store, man?
That's what I was about to do. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're in the Baltimore area, make sure you come down to MAP Technologies, 229 Park Avenue, downtown Baltimore. We fix, sell, repair, trade in all electronic games, and as well, we boast Baltimore's only premier gaming lounge. So come on in, play some games. We have everything from Atari to PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, everything you guys want. What else do we do here? We offer classes. John's teaching a...
Yes, I teach multiple classes, stock trading. Tonight, actually, we're doing HTML and CSS class for beginners.
Yep. So any class you guys are kind of interested in learning PC tech-wise, just let us know.
And if you're not in the area, also visit mapgametech.com, where I believe we have one of the largest collections of retro games I think I've ever seen.
Yep.
So if you're a big retro fan, go to mapgametech.com/shop and check out that collection.
It's got better prices than GameStop.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And absolutely, we're on every social media at MAP Game Tech, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
OnlyFans.
Yeah, please check that Patreon out.
And our OnlyFans, Patreon. No, I'm just kidding. Check the Patreon out. Subscribe to it. You'll get some good stuff out of it. John here's giving away pops and stuff like that for some of the events here, so that'll be up on there. So, yeah, any questions you guys have, please feel free to stop at one of those. Email us at mapgametech@gmail.com. Yeah.
That's it. Good show.
Yeah. We'll catch you guys next week.
I need a haircut.
He's
Doggy style.